I ask that you close your eyes and imagine yourself walking into a grocery store. You've come to the grocery store today to purchase one product, and that product is coffee. You walk down the coffee aisle and are presented with 15 to 20 bags of coffee. How do you choose which type of coffee you're leaving with? Are you considering the packaging of the bag, the type of bean in the bag, the price of the bag? Have you asked yourself at all, was this product traded fairly? Fairtrade International describes fair trade as a social movement and an alternative to traditional trade. The movement connects traders, producers, and consumers, ensuring ethical partnerships that benefit all involved. I urge that at the end of this discussion, you walk into grocery stores with the conscious efforts to purchase products that have been fairly traded. I urge you to look for products that bear the fair trade symbol and continue to support the cause. Organizations like Fairtrade International and Fairtrade Foundation accredit the growing concern for traditional trade to globalization. With such advances in technology and transportation, globalization has created the ability for countries all over the world to communicate and exchange with one another. There is no doubt that globalization has stimulated developed countries like the United States and United Kingdom. However, lesser developed countries or developing countries are still left suffering. For the sake of lower production costs and consumer prices, manufacturers of the developed countries move their plants to the developing countries, exploiting the labor of their workers. These laborers are paid minimal wages and are working in inhumane conditions to meet the increasing demand. Because coffee is the second most traded commodity in the world, confirmed by the International Coffee Organization, and is the basis for the fair trade movement, I use coffee in my discussion as my subject. As seen in the documentary, Black Gold, coffee farmers in Ethiopia are paid 8 cents for a kilo of coffee. This kilo of coffee would go for $200 in the United States. For this reason, coffee is considered traded unfairly. The growers are being paid an extremely small amount of money for their product. Because of the lack of technology and their inability to access knowledge on the market and the industry, there is no alternative for them to trade at a higher wage. With growers receiving little wages, they're unable to support their families on less than $2 a day and are forced to forfeit meals, healthcare, and education for themselves and their families. In the most severe of circumstances, they begin to farm narcotic crops and are urged to send their families to relatives in other villages who can help support them. These farmers are also not able to stimulate or contribute to their economies as necessary. As consumers, we're able to make a difference. We can purchase products that are fairly traded, spending the extra dollar or two, ensuring that the money goes back into the pockets of the farmers rather than large corporations that are exploiting people around the world. It's important for us to consider this, as we are all humans and we're all working on this together.